Namaste, beautiful yogis. Welcome to Ali Kamenova Yoga. I'm Ali, and today we are doing a spiritual lungs class. For today's class, I have a little talk before we begin, and after that we'll get into the class. Now, always remember, I have never through the years really asked you to pause, hit the like button, share, and all of that, but it really helps the other people to see the classes, and my mission, of course, is for these classes to be seen. I'm doing them for the people out there that align with my message. We resonate, we're on the same frequency, I have something to share with them, and of course, if we get the classes out there, then more people that align with them can see them. All right, so make sure to support the series, support the classes with liking and sharing and commenting. Of course, I'd love to hear from you and all your suggestions, experiences, suggestions for future programs and classes, etc. I would like to read your feedback. Now, we are moving into the lungs. I have a few notes here on the lungs that I have taken from Bain Saduno, and I would like to share them because most of his work is in Bulgarian and it's not accessible freely in every language. There's few translations, but I don't think the translations really do him enough justice. It's not that many, so I feel that we can contemplate the lungs from that perspective, which is observing nature and health and life from a very holistic, deeper perspective, spiritual perspective. Let's begin with the little chat. The lungs in our body, they're the storage for divine energy. Air carries electricity and magnetism, not in the scientific sense. In spirituality, we talk about electricity and magnetism as the two forces that operate in the universe, and air carries those two forces. This energy goes through the nose and renews the entire nervous system. So when we learn to breathe correctly, we have the capacity to heal ourselves, to align our nervous system, to balance our nervous system. And remember that not everything that is proven will remain proven, and not the things that are not proven yet, that doesn't mean they don't exist, because we're very far from understanding the human body. There is so much mystery and unknown, and I see a lot of people who are in a very materialistic way of understanding reality. Anything that there is no double-blind study for it, they can't process it. But there is, we know, if you're here, you probably are with me on this one, but there is so much more to existence and life than the things that we can absolutely prove right now with the limited scientific tools that we have. I just wanted to say this because a lot of people say, oh, this is bullshit, but sorry. So we have a lot to contemplate and elevate out of a very narrow understanding of reality. Through proper, and I'm not going to say anything that out there, by the way. Through proper breath, the human can align his mind to think right or correctly. A human can align his heart to feel right or correctly. And his stomach, of course her stomach, to work correctly. So the breath actually balances those forces in our body, and it can improve our digestion and the way we think. Air stores ideas, because obviously everything is frequency, and the way we learn to utilize air, it expands how much we can receive, because air is prana and so forth. Breathing is a double process, physical and psychological. And the end goal of the physical process is cleansing the thought. There are three types of breathing: upper, middle, and lower breathing, according to which part you're using, which part of the lungs you're using. That obviously determines determines which type of breathing you utilize the most. Deep breath is full breath. When we take a deep breath, all the alveoli of the lungs fill up, and the person holds the air longer. The more air, the more prana, energy, penetrates in the entire body. And with prana, more ideas arrive, which eventually will manifest. So the more ideas we receive, the more we're allowing things to, as I say, marinate in our system, and they eventually manifest. We take in ideas through the breath. I know this is, when I first came to these types of teachings, it was absolutely fascinating for me. Now I think that way as well. There is a lot of I don't think in only strictly very obvious way. There is a lot of, I layer a lot of nuance to every thought, and there is metaphors that mean a lot more than just, you know, a symbolic statement. So air is an idea. The way we breathe, we accumulate ideas, or we hold higher and higher ideas. The more we learn to breathe, the more we allow energy to flow through us. The light is also a frequency, a thought form. Air is the same. So when we use the elements, we're not just learning how to breathe better. We are expanding way beyond just proper breath. And of course, just proper breath has the capacity to keep the body very healthy. If you want to be patient, breathe deeply. He also says that you can recognize impatient people because they're shallow breathers. The lungs, he says, are a complex laboratory where many energies cross. The prana from the air penetrates the lungs, and from there ozonates the blood where air cannot reach. He was speaking in days when science was not even as developed as now, in the late 1800s, in the early 1900s. So a lot of the ideas that he brought in have been proven since, or there is explanation scientific for them since. In the purified blood, the elements of life are embedded. So as we oxygenate the blood, ozone reaches the areas of the body that air cannot. And if we don't purify the blood, then impurities live in the blood, and then microbes, he says, live in the blood, and that kind of aligns with terrain theory pretty well, or completely. When we don't breathe correctly, toxins, which he calls semi-organic material, store in the body, which leads to disease. Impurities in the blood breed microbes, because microbes are there to break down the impurities, of course. And deep breath, when we take deep breaths, the diaphragm pushes down, but when we breathe, take shallow breaths, the diaphragm pushes on the heart. There is some spiritual significance here. That can lead to disease when we take just shallow breaths. The person whose breath is strong, whoever breathes well has a strong will. So all of those spiritual qualities that we develop over time, they are mirrored in the physical body, of course, because everything is an expression of oneness. So things are never disconnected and just live alone on their own. So will is represented by a person who breathes correctly, a human. When I say human, of course that implies men and women. I'm not gonna, every time mention both, because the human being is what we're talking about. Connection between breath and digestion. He always found a connection between proper breathing and digestion. I think now there is a lot more information on that, and I've done a lot of classes on that, because we have the vagus nerve running through all the digestive organs, and we have also a lot of studies on microbiome and such. So there is a massive connection between proper breathing and digestion, and which leads to correct thought, because we can really disturb the mind when we don't breathe correctly, and same goes when we don't eat correctly. And we know that when the microbiome is not right, it can reflect the health of the brain. They're connected. Brain, heart, lungs, stomach, liver is also connected. Health is the result of a conscious breath. If you can get down your breath to 10, he says, to 10 breaths per minute, that is great. A lot of people breathe 20-30 times per minute. Fast breathing it signifies weak will. The will is weak. So if you wanna, and also less clean blood when we have fast breath. And these are the notes I've taken. There is a lot more, but I wanted to keep it at that. And I will finish by his idea that when we learn to breathe correctly, we extend our stay here on Earth. We learn how to utilize the energies properly and maintain our health for longer. The breath is one of those physical, spiritual things, electric and magnetic things, that not only tone the body in a physical way, but also they affect our mind, our thoughts, the ideas that we bring in. And I've said this before, and it's not my thought again, but there is never new ideas that we just come up with from ourselves. Everything is a frequency, and it's us tuning into frequency and being able to download them when it's quote unquote a new idea. So when we purify the instrument, when you learn how to breathe correctly, we purify the energies that run through the body, and we're able to align with higher ideas. That goes with how we drink water, and how we move, how we consciously breathe through the day. Conscious breath is extremely important. Breathing consciously is extremely important to health. So I hope that inspires you. I don't want to make, the series is not going to be all woo and spiritual stuff, but I wanted to throw in a few spiritual classes, and I know there is a love and hate relationship with them. Some of you love them, and that's why I keep them on the membership mostly. But there is plenty of them here, and that's my specialty. I love philosophy and metaphysical stuff and spirituality and older teachings. I also love practical tools, practicality, and of course, in general, there's no separation, but I can separate them pretty well, and I will have a mix here. Anyways, that is it, I promise. Let's begin, and let's flow with love, strength, and ease. All right, starting with deep belly breaths, the diaphragmatic breathing, hands onto the belly, and we're gonna breathe into the belly, lower belly, mid belly, chest, and we will reverse. We will exhale through first from the top, midsection, bottom. Now when you breathe, eventually you will find that it's a marker of how you feel that day, physically, emotionally, and all of that. How smooth the breath is, how easy, how deep, all of that is going to be a reflection of how your energy runs that day. And of course you can affect it backward, the other way around. With the breath you can affect the energy. So pay attention to your breath and come to a few deep breaths throughout your day, but also focus on that during class always, because that's your time, that's your pampering, self-care time. Standing at the front of the mat, roll the shoulders back and down, bring the palms of the hands forward, spread the toes open, lift. Lift the arches of the feet, lift the energy from the ankles up into the legs, up into the thighs, pelvis, an uplifting motion from lifting the Mula Bandha action, lifting the Kegel muscle. We're lifting up. Everything is lifting, that feeling of lift. Now you can also feel dispersing energy. That's more the air quality, where energy goes out into the periphery, into the each and every cell of the body, into the vascular system, etc. So feel that dispersing energy, which would be prana. It would be the visceral experience of prana, not only air but prana. And we're developing new organs through millions and millions of years. Of course, tomorrow we're not going to wake up with a new organ. We're creating ethereal new lungs. That over a very long period of time, as the human being evolves, that will be the organ that will be able to utilize prana more. Right now we're not very good at using prana, and the more we're able to take in prana, the more we elevate our thought and our health. And that is part of the process. With each intentional action we take on in our life, on the mat, etc., conscious breath, we prepare ourselves, prepare the organs that are going to hold the thought for the future human. So those organs are also consciousness holders, thought form containers. And it's a two-way process where the organs themselves align our thoughts, right? If the liver is out of balance, we're angry. So there is an emotional component, a thought component to the organs. When we clean up the organs, they hold the proper, correct thought. From that thought, we can hold the energy for the formation of the new organs over time. It's a really beautiful concept. I don't have crazy amount of time. I don't want to spend too long here. I hope you're just getting the idea and realizing the significance of what we do through each and every class, throughout this life, etc. Everything is significant. There is great significance to what we do. Inhale over the head, lift, drop the shoulders down. Exhale, dive down. Shake the head. Inhale, look ahead of you. Plank. Press the heels away from you. Now we're going to do chaturanga either from the knees and bending at the elbows. Elbows remain somewhat over the wrist, or you can do chaturanga from your toes and lift back up. Now here we're going to reach with the right hand forward and tap the shoulder, drop it down. Left hand forward, tap the shoulder, opposite shoulder, drop it down. Now when you do that, try to swing a little less and see how that feels. Alternating, stabilizing the core. You will notice that when you breathe really well, you actually have good digestion. And when you digest your food well, you have really clear thought, because you're also assimilating nutrients. Everything is, the energy is flowing properly through the body. All right, chaturanga, up dog, and down dog. Inhale the right leg up, step it through, drop the back heel down, warrior one. From here we're going to step onto the right leg at the front of the mat and take the left hand to the left leg, dancer's pose. Great. From here, we're going to continue with the second heart inspiration. I've opened a whole new chapter of body movement and yoga here with this. But we're going to do a deadlift, one-legged deadlift, right knee bent, reaching towards the floor, touching the floor, straight back, hinging at the hips, coming up. Grab your knee, look behind, tippy toes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and shake it out, step it back, vinyasa of your choice, down dog. Take the left leg up, step it through, warrior 1. Really stretch and open here, elongate, feel the psoas stretching. Step at the front and let's go. Deadlift. Right knee, left hand, tippy toes, look behind, do as much as you can. If you're all over the place, that's fine. We're learning here. Balancing is extremely beneficial. 2, breathe as well. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Step it down. You can shake the legs out. And we're going to bring the hands in front of us. Squat, lift the heels onto the tippy toes. Drop the heels, and you can hop up or come up, whichever level you're at. Level 1 would come up, level 2, 3, hop up. Let's go, and keep the belly connected, everything lifting. Let's go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. From here, sit down onto your body and lean back, pull the belly in. Again, focus on your breath, focus on your connection with your core, and we're going to bring one leg in, lower, the other, lower. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A breather. Lean back again, and you can sit onto the sit bones here. You can remove the flesh, sit properly on the sit bones, open the chest, widen the back, and we're going to glide the left heel away from us in, and at the end of this rep we're going to twist back to center, same side. 2, 3, really lift here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Great. 2. In between the two sides you can reset, straight back, open chest, opposite side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Great. From here, lay down. You're going to breathe into the belly. Again, a reminder about slow, proper breath. Use the same technique, filling up the belly first, then middle, then chest. Exhaling in the reverse order. First chest drops, and do your best. With breathing there is always a process. One more. All right, a few pelvic tilts. So you're gonna do a bit of a stomach vacuum here, pelvic tilt. Great. Finishing off with stepping onto the right leg, lifting the left leg up, hands over the head, and we're going to press into one-legged bridge. And as we lower the belly, the booty down, we're going to pull the belly in and lift the booty off the floor, kind of like a lower leg lift, and a crunch forward. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and last one, 10. Opposite side. I traveled on my mat. All right, lift. 1, focus. 2, you're working on the legs and on the core. Last one. Great. This is also for the hamstrings. All right. Plow. shoulder stand. And coming out of this, you can drop the knees to one side, look away from your knees. Opposite side. Again, away from the knees. And prepare for relaxation. Just lay down here and allow yourself to relax for a few moments. I'll see you with the next class tomorrow, with our next class, and you can check out the footnotes or the notes in the under the video for additional material that relates to all the body hacking that we are working on, or all the body improvement, our fitness and physical improvements that we're working on. So see you tomorrow, and remember to flow with love, strength, and ease. Namaste.